Hello, I am Vijay Shankar Navi from Bangalore. On August 11th, 2016, Reserve Bank of India has issued an important circular on limiting the liability of customers in case of frauds occurring in internet banking, mobile banking, or in the use of cards, either the credit or debit cards or the ATM cards. Obviously, this is of great significance to the e-banking customers who are threatened by the increasing number of cyber crimes which are occurring in the society. The Reserve Bank of India circular is presently in a draft form and it has been released inviting public comments up to August 31, 2016. I would urge every member of public who definitely has a stake in this to respond to Reserve Bank of India, supporting its move, and if necessary, suggest certain improvements. Some basic information about the circular as well as the details of where to send the email is available in www.naavi.org, and I request every one of you to visit the site, go through the couple of articles which are there, and then send your reply to Reserve Bank of India. For your immediate reference, I would like to briefly state what the circular intends to do. Whenever an e-banking fraud occurs, there is a possibility that the customer might have already noticed either loss of his credit card or an attempt to send a phishing mail to himself. At that time, if he reports to the bank that there is a compromise of his credentials or there is a loss of his credit card, then any unauthorized withdrawal of funds subsequent to that notice will be entirely on the account of the bank and the customer will not have any liability. Apart from this, when actually an unauthorized transaction has taken place, Reserve Bank of India wants the bank to send an alert either through SMS or email without fail, and the customer will have an opportunity to check whether the transaction was originated by him. If he is able to respond within 3 days to state that the transaction is not authorized, then again there will be zero liability on him and the bank will have to take the liability. If, however, the customer does not respond within 3 days, but he responds within 4 to 7 days, then his liability will be limited to 5,000 rupees. Now, beyond 7 days, the bank will have to declare a policy of how it will handle the liability. This particular limited liability up to 5,000 for response between 4 to 7 days and zero liability within 3 days is applicable to all cases where there appears to be no negligence on the part of the banker or the customer and the loss is due to a cyber crime. Where there is a negligence of the banker, obviously a bank will take the entire responsibility. The only other issue where some debate is possible is where there is a negligence of the customer. The circular says that the customer will have to take liability in such cases. But the question is, what constitutes negligence on the part of the customer? For example, if there is a virus which is like a keylogger virus which has stolen his credentials, or if there is a man in the middle attack which has stolen his session and then passed on a transaction to the bank which is unauthorized, to what extent we can say the customer should have been alert enough to recognize that the fraud was going on? I personally feel that there is no negligence attributable to a customer if he fails to recognize such a sophisticated virus, particularly if he can prove that he had taken all reasonable steps such as having a reasonable antivirus protection for his computer. One of the good things this circular says is that in case of proving the negligence, if any evidence has to be produced, the onus of proof will be on the bank. Now, if there is a phishing where there is an email which the customer has responded giving his passwords, or if there is a wishing which is a voice based phishing where somebody calls on behalf of the bank and persuades the customer to reveal his OTP or password, the question still arises on whether the customer was reckless in revealing the credentials, whether he ought to have known that the bank never calls for such uh, information over phone, etc. Maybe as we go along, the awareness level of the customers should be raised to a certain level where phishing or wishing doesn't succeed. But prevention of virus based or Trojan based phishing is unlikely to be prevented fully because the Trojans or viruses are getting more and more sophisticated, and even the antivirus softwares often fail to recognize a 0-day vulnerability. Therefore, when we look at the negligence of the customer, there is a need for certain debate. And other than that, it is clear that where there is a negligence of the banker or where there is an external cybercrime attack, this circular provides the customer with substantial relief. To ensure that this circular becomes a reality, I would invite every one of the public to send their response to Reserve Bank of India, as if they remain silent, there would be pressures working on Reserve Bank of India not to operationalize this circular. I hope all of you have got my message and you will take steps to find out the details from the site www.navi.org and then give a response to Reserve Bank of India before August 31st, 2016. Just send an email to say that this circular needs to be operationalized as early as possible. Thank you.